So right here we have the book, The Origin of the Anglo-Saxon Race, a study of the settlement of England and the tribal origin of the Old English people. The consideration of the evidence that people of brunette complexions were among the Anglo-Saxon settlers in England leads on to that of people of a still darker hue, the dark black or brown black settlers. Okay. Probably there must have been some of these among the Anglo-Saxon, for we meet with personal names: black man, blank man, blacka man, black suna, blacka, and blatchman in various documents of the period. The place is called Blatchman Stone, pronouncing it right, I'm sorry if I butchered that, in Dorset, and Blackisman Stone in Kent were on quite close to the coast, a circumstance which points to the settlers having come to these places by water rather than to a survival of black people of the old Celts race having been left in them. So this is the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, and it says Celt, one of the primitive inhabitants of the south of Europe, pertaining to the primitive inhabitants of the south and west of Europe, or to the early inhabitants of Italy, Gaul, Spain, and Britain. So they've done a lot of archaeological finds in the skulls of the early inhabitants of Europe, or dolichocephalic Negro. Dolichocephalic, according to Redis, was the distinctive cranial feature to the earliest inhabitants of Europe. Today, it is characteristics of the Negroid races of the Papuans, the Polynesians, Australians, though many of the Negritos and some of the pygmy races of Africa from brachycephalic skulls are rule. So when you look at the Celtics, you can look at it in a whole nother perspective, right? Who the original Celtics were, but they give you this guy because you don't know your own history. It is not reasonable to doubt that when our forefathers called a man Braun or Brown, they gave him this name as a descriptive of his brown complexion. The probability that the brunettes were common is supported by the frequent references to persons named Braun in Anglo-Saxon literature. Okay. Braun was the name not confined to England in the Anglo-Saxon and later periods. On the contrary, we find that it was a common name in ancient Germany, brown peoples. Okay. Brunette, a woman with a brown or dark complexion. So what is complexion? The color of the skin, particularly the face. The face.